I'm Olivia.
And I'm Maisie.
We're here to interview DJ Rasp from St Helens for Heritage Open Days 2020.
Hi, I'm DJ Rasp and I'm a scratch DJ. I do a lot of turntablism and DJ in a lot of clubs and festivals.
How did you get introduced to hip hop?
I got introduced to hip hop in the 80s. I used to see a lot of breakdancers around the town. I used to see a lot of music videos with rapping and scratching in it. So yeah, that introduced me to hip hop.
When did you start DJing and what made you start?
I started DJing way back in 1996, and the reason I started DJing is because I used to collect a lot of vinyl records. I ended up getting some turntables and I would mix the records together and yeah, just to make my own mixtapes and stuff.
When you started scratch DJing, was there any other hip hop activity or artists in St Helens?
When I started scratch DJing, there wasn't many. There was one guy called DJ Crow who lived in Rain Hill, and he already had records and stuff and some decks, so I used to practice with him. As for other DJs, there wasn't many. There was another guy called Rob Fiore. I only met him a little bit later, but there was definitely a few MCs knocking about.
What kept you motivated in the early years?
The fact that it was new and it was exciting. I would do a lot of experimentation with scratching and mixing, and also there was a lot of like new and exciting music coming out at that time, and yeah, I just wanted to progress by practicing, and I got better and better, and yeah, it just fed my hunger for DJing, you know.
What was the first competition you won and how did you feel?
The first competition I won was actually in 2001, and it was a local comp in Warrington. It wasn't so much a scratching comp, it was like a mixing comp. And yeah, to win that was a great feeling. You know, I've been DJing for a number of years, and all that practice and preparation paid off. And I actually won a keyboard, which was cool at the time, so I used to make beats on it and stuff.
When did the Shakti form? How did you meet them? And what was it like to be in a hip hop band?
The Shakti was great. We had some great times. We formed about 1999, and it started with myself, a rapper from St Helens called Philly Wiz, another rapper from Rain Hill called Ash, and our friend who was a rapper, producer and musician called Mac. And we all used to jam together in my bedroom actually with my turntables and some microphones. We evolved and started doing more gigs around like different cities like Liverpool and Manchester and further afield, and yeah, we had good times doing that. We eventually recorded a lot of music, and we pressed up records. And yeah, we got to travel and perform alongside many great artists.
When did you become a DJ for breaking jams, and what made it different DJing for B-boys and B-girls than the general public?
I started DJing for breakdancing jams in 2000. I used to DJ in a place called The Magnet in Liverpool, and when I do gigs with a Shakti, we would also play music for like breakdancers, and there used to be like lots of like little ciphers and circles going on the dance floor. So yeah, it just kind of happened by accident, you know. I started taking it more serious and doing it in more jams around about 2001, 2002. I used to do it for my friend Florex, who was based in Liverpool. I used to play all these jams, and then I started doing stuff with the UC crew and Bustin' Hump and all them guys, and yeah, I've just done it ever since.
What have been the highlights of your career?
Oh wow. Well, I've been very blessed to have a long career DJing. I've been very lucky to travel the world. Yeah, I'd say like some of the highlights was like, you know, winning some national competitions like DMC and IDA. Also touring China. I did a Chinese tour in 2018. I was lucky enough to perform and play in New York City and Washington DC. And work alongside many different artists and also teach a lot of people along the way.
What artists have you DJ'd with?
I've DJed with many artists. I warmed up for DJ Jazzy Jeff. I'd say that was like the highlight. That was in 2017 in the NEC in Birmingham. I've DJed for like many rappers, local and international rappers. I've performed alongside many champion turntablists all over the world. And yeah, there's too many to mention, but I'd say Jazzy Jeff was a highlight.
Who is the most famous hip-hop person you have met?
Oh wow, probably DJ Jazzy Jeff. I met Grandmaster Flash too. Yeah, plenty of old school guys. I met DJ Craze and yeah, all these amazing DJs from over the pond.
How important is knowledge from hip-hop and scratch DJing?
Knowledge is everything when it comes to scratch DJing. The more knowledge you have, from learning about scratching and other musicians, you can apply it to your style, and you know, you can do a lot of cool things with that.
What are you doing now?
I'm working on some projects, recording music, doing a lot of live streaming, getting back into doing some gigs, doing a lot of like producing. I'm working alongside different artists.
Who are your DJing influences and why?
Some of my early inspirations were DJs like Cash Money from Philadelphia, the mighty Jazzy Jeff, Cutmaster Swift from the UK, a crew called the Invisible Scratch Pickles, and another crew from New York called the X-Men, which we'll later call the Executioners. The reason all these DJs inspired me was the things that they was doing with the turntables and the way that they would manipulate the records and create new techniques and stuff like that. It was mind-blowing to see, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, and yeah, inspired me to become a DJ.
Who are some of your favourite music artists and why?
Being a DJ, I listen to a lot of music and I listen to a lot of artists. I like a lot of different genres of music, anything from hip-hop to funk to soul to rock, reggae, dubstep, drum and bass. I like James Brown, Scream, I like Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang. It depends on the mood I'm in as well, you know what I mean? If I want to mellow out or whatever, I'd listen to some reggae, some Sister Nancy or something. Yeah, I like to listen to a lot of different music.
What competitions have you won?
I've won many competitions over the years. I started competing in 1998, and the first time I actually won a major competition was in 2006, and that was like a regional final in Leeds, and it was for the competition called the DMC. I eventually won the UK DMC title in 2009, and I become a champion for a number of years after that, you know, within the DMC. I also won the IDA, which stands for the International DJ Association. I won that, the national championship in 2009. I won it again in 2010. And from there I went to the World Finals, which was always held in Poland, in Krakow, Poland. And it was, you know, a great experience to be alongside other DJs, to compete, you know, alongside the world's best DJs.
What was your most embarrassing DJ moment?
Oh wow! So my most embarrassing DJ moment was DJing in a club, and it was the time when we used to use records, and I took the needle off the record that was actually playing. So yeah, I had to just put it back on and just recover from a mistake and just brushed it off and just continue DJing. But it was embarrassing, but it was kind of funny at the same time.
What advice would you give to people wanting to start scratching DJing as a hobby?
Oh, that's a good question. So my advice to people who want to start scratching is to learn the basics. To learn the core techniques like the baby scratch, chirps, cuts, transforms, and learn hand motion on the actual platter. You know, that's really important. Before you can do all the crabs and flares, I think it's really important that you get the core basics down and you make them sound good.
Where can they go to learn?
I actually teach in a place in Manchester called the SEM, which stands for the School of Electronic Music, so you can learn DJing there. I'm sure there's plenty of other places around the northwest where you can learn DJing and scratching.
Is there any final remarks and shout outs?
Well, I'd like to shout out UC Crew for having us do this interview. Big up all the people of St Helens. Big up everyone that I've met over the years that's supported us and helped us out. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been an honour to be part of this.